Okay, what's up everybody? Welcome back to BS2 PCG Deck Forger. And for tonight, we're going to have another great deck tech courtesy of our sponsor, FHP BS2 PCG Philippines. Okay, so for tonight, we're not going to open up any specific deck boxes, but we're going to try to get one deck in particular from one of our demo box that are being displayed at Ford Shabby Place in Las Piñas. So we're going to get one particular deck from here, and we're going to discuss in details, okay, on how we build that particular deck. Okay, so try to stay with me as we try to discuss, okay, the Thanos Gauntlet deck. Okay, so let's try to open this one. Okay, so as you can see here, this is our newest deck box to be displayed at Ford Shabby Place. And of course, we have our rule book, which is a staple in most of our deck boxes, demo deck boxes. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, so we have, okay, again, 6 decks that are available in this particular deck box, and they are in random. So here we have, okay, Ultron. I think this was also included in one of our deck boxes before. So Ultron is a supervillain's main character. Okay, so we also have included, again, one of our staple, okay, decks in a demo box, which is Iron Man from the Avengers team. And also we have from the Hydra team, we have Helmut Zemo. Okay. And one of the good guys from the Defenders team, we have Luke Cage. Okay, so that's Luke Cage. And again, I think we have featured this lady in our previous deck box, and this is Lady Death. And of course, the original big bad dude from Marvel Battles, and this is Thanos. So for this particular deck box, we will try to discuss the deck that centers around Thanos. And we can see here that this Thanos, this version, is already different from the original one that was published way back, I think 5 years ago in Marvel Battles. Okay, the original, since the original deck, original main character for Thanos was banned due to its very powerful superpower, and it was replaced later on in Legacy with another version of Thanos. Okay, so for this particular deck, first we will try to discuss the difference between the original Thanos and of course the new version Thanos. Okay, so if you can look here, the original Thanos has, okay, at first level 3 attack and 4 defense with 6 health. It has no flight and no range, and it has court death. So when you say court death, during your main phase, you may pay 1 green power symbol in order to shuffle each character in a KO pile, okay, and back into its deck, okay, its owner's deck. Then put that many +1/+1 counters on Thanos. But the difference here, of course, is the original Thanos, you need at least 6 XP in order to level up to the Mad Titan. And the condition is when a character on any side gets KO'd, then Thanos gets an XP. So this is very different, okay, in the later version. If he is able to get 6 XP, then he now becomes level 2, and he becomes a 6 attack, 6 defense character, still with 6 health, but now he gains the Infinity Gauntlet. And the Infinity Gauntlet is a very powerful superpower that was considered to be ripe for banning. Okay, so what does the original Infinity Gauntlet do? Okay, you have to pay one power symbol each, one blue, one yellow, one red, and one green in order to activate it. And when you activate it, okay, it says here that for each enemy player, stun their main character, KO one of their supporting character, and okay, KO one of the resources, and they discard all cards in their hand. So it was so powerful that can be done, I think, on the 4th and 5th turn, that it was considered banned. Okay, so when one of my friend Bimbo Blanco here in the Philippines originally played with this and got several tournaments won with the original Thanos, but I think he became disappointed when it was banned and later changed to another card. So I think this is a very good opportunity for me to try to discuss, okay, on his behalf. Okay, if we're going to try to use Thanos again for a new deck, so what will it, okay, entail? So what are the new supporting characters, plot twists, and locations, or maybe even equipment that are needed in order to be able to use the new Thanos? Okay, so let's try to check the new Thanos. So the new Thanos, okay, is actually still 3 attack and 4 defense with 6 health, and it's still grounded, so it still has no flight and no range, and still has the court death. So once you pay the green power symbol during the main phase, you may get to shuffle each character in a KO pile, okay, and okay, back into its own deck, and then put that many +1/+1 counters on Thanos. Okay, but the main difference here is now the Mad Titan, okay, when an enemy character gets KO, Thanos gains an XP. So it is still 6 XP, but then it is not any character on any side. It's only for your characters, okay, for your characters being KO'd. So the difference here is before, combos needed for the old version of Thanos consisted of, let's say, Squirrel Girl, Goblin Queen, wherein you need you are able to produce token characters of your own, then have them attack, okay, suicidal to your opponent's board and try to get them KO'd so that you gain that XP. But now with the new XP requirement, it must be your own. It must be the enemy characters, okay, being KO'd. So that's a huge difference. Okay, so meaning you cannot do that on his turn or on your turn, but it has to be. It still can use that, but it has to be the opponent's characters. So, and the difference here is when it comes to level 2, okay, the Infinity Gauntlet can still do most of the thing that it does before, but then, okay, still have to pay the same power symbol, but for each enemy player stun their main character, KO one of their supporting characters, then KO one of the resources, and this time they get to only discard one card from their hand in random. So again, a very huge difference, okay, from the previous Thanos. Okay, so now we will try to go to the deck itself and let's find out, okay, what are the new changes that can be incorporated, okay, with the new version of. So this is our main deck, and as we have tried to discuss a while ago, and this is now the new version for Thanos. Hopefully it can be a very competitive one, and we will try to discuss here all the technical supporting characters, plot twists, and locations that are included in this new version of the Thanos Gauntlet. So let's try to focus on the main character first. So as I have discussed a while ago, so this version of Thanos at level 1 is still a 3 attack 4 defense character with 6 health, and he has no flight and range. So he has Court Death as his first superpower, and during the main phase, you may pay 1 green power symbol to shuffle each character in a KO pile into its deck. Then put that many +1/+1 counters on Thanos. So let's say if you have 4 characters in your KO pile and your opponent has 3 characters in their KO pile, you get to both shuffle them back into your own respective decks, and you put 7 +1/+1 counters on Thanos, and that will increase his stats to at least 10 attack and 11 defense. So the same with the original version of the Thanos main character, still has the Mad Titan, so he needs at least 6 XP to level up, and the new requirement is when an enemy character gets KO'd, Thanos gains an XP. So again, we'll try to compare with the previous one, the previous version of Thanos, and it says here that when a character on any side gets KO'd, Thanos gains an XP. So you can see here that the combos or the synergy of the cards needed in this particular deck is now different from the old Thanos version of a deck. And once he gets to level up, then Thanos now becomes 6 attack and 6 defense. Still he has 6 health and the Court Death superpower. But then again, he now gains the Infinity Gauntlet superpower. And during the main phase, all you need to do is pay 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 green, and 1 red power symbol for each enemy player. KO their main character, KO one of their resources, KO one of their supporting characters, and they discard a random card from their hand. Comparing that again with the old version of Thanos, this version actually discards all enemy players' hand. Unlike with the new one, they just discard 1 random card from their hand. But still powerful enough, no? Since you are able to stun an enemy player's main character, you get to KO one of the resources, and then you get to KO one of their supporting characters in addition to the random discard. So still powerful enough on its own, but then again, let's try to check what are the supporting characters that we have included in this new version of Thanos. For your first drop, we have 4 copies of Mystic. And this particular Mystic is not from the Femme Fatale or the Brotherhood, but from the Hammer Team. So this particular version of Mystic is a 1-drop Hammer supporting character with 1 attack and 4 defense and 1 health. She is impersonating Professor X, so Mystic has leader while Professor X isn't on a side. At the same time, we have used this particular supporting character because she has Mutant Bomb. So this particular keyword power, at the end of your turn, if Mystic is in your front row, your main character may pay a red power symbol, and if it does, KO her and put 3 -1/-1 counters on each enemy front row character. So since the goal of your new Thanos deck is to be able to KO as many characters in a particular turn, most especially during your turn, And it's very important because, okay, you have to understand that you only get to level up your main character once you are able to KO your enemies' characters. So Mystic will come in handy because she can actually put those, okay, 3+1+1 counters on us up to many, okay, front row characters that are blocking the way. So Mystic is here because, okay, she can be very vital to your deck's strategy. And what to be able to wipe down or wipe out all those enemy weenie supporting characters better than, of course, the drop 1 Team Booba. And we have 4 copies of Team Booba in this deck because he can also do the board wiping early on in the game. So Team Booba is a 1-cost monsters, okay, supporting character with 2 attack and 2 defense and 2 health. And his Terror of the Microverse will be very strategic in your deck because when Team Booba appears, KO all enemy supporting characters with cost 1 or less. And enemy players can't recruit characters with cost 1 or less, okay, while Team Booba is in play. So let's say you are able to drop Team Booba on the 2nd or 3rd turn, and your opponent gets to play first and is able to drop at least 1, 2, or even 3 1-drop characters. Then once you play Team Booba, then you get to wipe out those characters and generate 3 XP for Thanos. So again, Team Booba is very essential in your deck because of that particular power. Going to your 2-drop, we have included 4 copies of Electro. And Electro is again another good massive wipeout, okay, to use for this particular Thanos deck. So a 2-drop Electro is an underworld supporting character, and he has 2 attack and 2 defense with 1 health and range. And he has Chain Lightning, so during your main phase, you only have to pay 1 blue power symbol in order to stun each enemy character that costs 2 or less. So again, if your opponent is able to drop many weenie characters during the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd turn, and okay, they have luckily avoided Team Booba, then Electro can do the wiping job. Okay, so Team Electro is here because of that same purpose. We have included Ronan for our 2-drop because I think he fits the build, and at least you need a character that is able to use 1 yellow power symbol, okay, that will be essential to helping you advance your cause. So a 2-drop Ronan is a super villain supporting character, and he has 3 attack and 3 defense, and he has 2 health. Sadly, he has no flight nor range, but he has a Q. So during the main phase, you may pay 1 yellow power symbol and name any card. Choose an enemy player to reveal their hand and discard each card with that name. So most especially, you need to you have to watch out for the likes of Gilgamesh or even Dark Phoenix. So naming them early on in the game, and luckily if your opponent has them in their hand, then you get to discard them with Ronan. For our 3-drop, we have decided to use 4 copies of Doc Ock, and Dr. Octopus is a 3-drop super villain character with 3 attack and 5 defense and 1 health. Since he has no flight but he has grab, he can be a good defensive blocker for your front row characters, for your back row characters. So grab, while he's in the front row, enemy characters can fly over him. And a good thing here is if he's able to survive at least 1 turn, his genius can kick in And at the start of your turn, if he's face up, then you may draw a card. And essentially, we have, for our 4-drop, 4 copies of Gambit. And Gambit is, okay, the combo card or the combo character for your deck. So why? Because Gambit at 4-drop is a 6 attack, 4 defense character with 1 health and flight. He's from the Mutant Resistance team, and his molecular acceleration is very important in this deck because when Gambit appears, he may pay a red power symbol, and if he does, discard a card, okay, and stun enemy supporting characters with a total cost less than or equal to the cost of the discarded card. So meaning, if you're able to play Gambit and once he appears, okay, you can discard 1 supporting character card from your hand, and its total cost can be distributed among any number of players on any number of characters on your opponent's board, and okay, with the total that can stun them all. So what am I implying here is very simple. One of the key characters, supporting characters in this deck is, of course, you have put copies of Living Tribunal. And Living Tribunal is a 15 cost supporting character. So normally you don't really play Living Tribunal, hard casting it the way that all other normal characters, supporting characters do. But if you're able to play Gambit and you are able to pay that red power symbol, then all you need to do is discard Living Tribunal, and once you discarded him, okay, you can distribute 15, okay, of his total cost to up to a 15 total cost number of supporting characters. So let's say if you have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop, and even a 5-drop, okay, on your opponent's board, then you are able to stun all of them all at the same time. So Gambit is here because, okay, he's essentially your clutch card for your deck. To be able to get to stun those multiple number of characters and at the same time generate that massive XP for Thanos to be able for him to level up. So after Gambit, we decided to skip the 6-drop and we put 2 copies of Magneto. And Magneto, for your 6-drop, is a super villain, so he can team up with Thanos. He is a 7 attack, 6 defense character with 1 health, with flight and range, and he has magnetic suppression, so enemy supporting characters can't recover and they remain stunned, okay, while Magneto is, of course, in play. So the good thing about here is, of course, if you're able to drop in Magneto first during the late game, and you're able to drop also Gambit all on the same turn, then once all of those characters are stunned and they manage to survive because they have more than 1 health, then Magneto will suppress them so that they cannot recover during your opponent's turn. Okay, for our 7-drop, we try to use another hammer character, and this time we have used Ares. So Ares is your 7-drop. You have 2 copies of him in your deck, and he is a 10 attack, 7 defense character with 3 health. He has many keyword powers. So first, he has dodge, so Ares can't be range attack, and he also has combat master. So while Ares is in combat, enemy players can't play plot twist. And at the same time, he has lethal. If Ares, okay, wounds an enemy defending supporting character, then you get to KO it. Okay, sadly, Ares has no flight and no range, so he might have been a much better supporting character if at least he has flight, okay, or range. So that is just the problem with Ares. He's grounded. But then again, the 10-7 stats with Dodge, Combat Master, and Lethal, and 3 health may prove essential and very viable for this particular deck. And going to our 8th drop, but not yet the final drop for your set of characters, we have 2 copies of course, the Monarch. And the Monarch is an 8 cost Omega Mutant with 6 attack and 15 defense. And since it's an Omega level mutant, you can include other Omega level mutants, with different names, in your deck. And what is good about Monarch, of course, is his pull on the quantum springs. So when Monarch, of course, let's try to focus on that. When you recruit Monarch, turn each face down resource, face up in your row. So cards other than resources can be face up in your resource row, and characters on your side can turn face up cards other than locations on your resource row, face down to generate any power symbol to pay for their superpower. So I think you know where we're going here. So Monarch on the 8th turn can actually do the job of paying Thanos Infinity Gauntlet superpower. So because once all those face down resources are turned face up, then you can put them face down again in order to pay or generate a power symbol, any power symbol. So Monarch here is the synergy for Thanos Infinity Gauntlet superpower. So as I have said, Monarch is still not your highest drop for this deck. So in particular, we have included 2 copies of Captain Universe in this deck, and he is a 12 cost Spider-Friends character with 25 strength and attack and 25 defense, and a whopping 5 health with flight. And he has the Unipower, chooses a partner, but I won't try to discuss that further here. But then, his 25 attack and 25 defense is a really huge wall once you're able to play him on the 12th turn or earlier. And you have to be careful because as the time of peril has passed, at the end of your turn, if your main character has a total remaining health which is greater than or equal to the total remaining health of your enemy main character, then you get to KO Captain Universe. But then again, if you're not going to the late turn, of course, Captain Universe can be used with Gambit's molecular acceleration. So these two go hand in hand because the 12 cost can again stun at least 4 characters. Let's say you have a 1 drop, a 2 drop, or 3 drop, and 4 drop. 4 drop and another 2 drop. So that makes it around 5 in your opponent's side of the board. So he's essentially here to fuel up Gambit's molecular acceleration. And as I have said before, we have placed or put 2 copies of Living Tribunal in this particular deck because his 15 cost is essentially the highest so far in the game. And to explain further, Living Tribunal is a 15 drop neutral character. He has 0 attack and 0 defense and 1 health. So in case that you're able to play him really in this particular deck, then he has balance in the multiverse. When you recruit the Living Tribunal, choose one of his faces and remove him from the game. So if you choose equity, KO each Marvel equipment, location, and supporting character from the board. And if you choose necessity, KO each non-Marvel equipment, location, and supporting character. So we're talking here about the Fox property team cards like Aliens, Predators, Praise, and of course Company. And if you choose Vengeance, KO each photographic universe equipment, location, and supporting character from the board. So if you're able to play Living Tribunal, he is the ultimate board wipe for this particular deck. And he's also essential because again, you use Living Tribunal to pump up Gambit. Okay. So once we have discussed all our supporting characters, now it's time to go to our plot twist. And for this particular deck, we have included 4 copies of Extinguish. And Extinguish is a super villain's plot twist. And it says here that during your main phase, you KO a stun supporting character. So we have decided to put 4 copies of Extinguish because there are instances wherein you are up against an army of supporting characters with 2 or more health, like X-Men or let's say Hammer, and sadly Gambit's molecular acceleration can't really do the job of KOing them in just one blow. So sometimes still need to use cards like Extinguish in order to finish them up. So Extinguish is here because you need to sometimes KO 2 or 3 health characters, and this is very important to pursuing your scheme of course leveling up Thanos in the game. And for the last part, we have also our locations, and this particular deck packs around 24 different locations. So first, we have 4 copies of the Sulaco, and the Sulaco is of course very important here because it generates a red power symbol, and it's mostly used for Mystic's mutant bomb, and of course Gambit's molecular acceleration. And true enough, it is also usable for Thanos Infinity Gauntlet superpower. We have also decided to use 4 Auriga or the Auriga, and the Auriga generates yellow power symbols, and the Auriga is used most especially for Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. For green, we have decided to use 4 copies of Fury 101 or 161, and Fury 161 is your green generating location, and mostly used of course for Thanos Court Death and his Infinity Gauntlet. And for your blue, you have 4 copies of the Nostromo. And the Nostromo generates a blue power symbol needed, for example, Electro's Chain Lightning, and of course for Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. And in case if you have noticed, we have used different basic locations coming in from, of course, the Aliens and Aliens battle set, because when Living Tribunal kicks in and you get to choose at least necessity, then equity, then all marble type of cards like locations, equipment, and supporting character will get KO'd. But since you are using Fox type of location, then chances are they will not be affected by Living Tribunal's balance in the multiverse. To further the cause, of course, of accelerating Gambit's molecular acceleration, we have also included 4 copies of Utopia, and mostly used for Gambit's molecular acceleration. And finally, we have 4 copies of the Vault, because we need the Vault in order to pay for Thanos Court Death and the Infinity Gauntlet. So those are 24 locations available in this particular deck. So again, I have discussed all throughout this video ways in order for you to be able to get ways on how to maximize your use of Thanos for this particular deck. So again, we have tried to discuss a while ago, okay, the use of special keyword affecting supporting characters like Mystic, Team Booba, Electro, all the way to Gambit, using Captain Universe and Living Tribunal, okay, as bullet for your molecular acceleration. So all in all, okay, this is to help Thanos level up quickly, and of course to make way for his Infinity Gauntlet once your Monarch becomes online. Since Monarch can effectively pay, okay, those 4 power symbols multiple times as long as you have face up resources in your resource row. Okay, so Thanos here hopefully can become competitive again, most especially with again decks that are catering to this to his particular requirements. And again, as a disclaimer, it is up to you to use this video, this deck tech, to guide you in deck building. I didn't say that this particular Thanos Gauntlet deck is powerful enough to help you win a championship, but again, it's up to you on how you play test, how you try to play it in a match, and how you tweak your deck in order to suit your need. So once again, guys, this is the Thanos Gauntlet deck, and before we let go of this video, first of all, we'd like to thank our sponsors. First of all, of course, is our official venue, Forge Hobby Place. And Forge Hobby Place is located at Unit B, Velasquez Compound, along Naga Road in Pulanlupa to Las Piñas City, Philippines. So we have regular events every Sunday starting at 1 o'clock p.m. So everybody's welcome to join us. And once a month, we also have our tournaments being held at PM Apartments Building in Matalino Street, Diliman, Quezon City. So just check our Facebook page for official announcement of schedules on the particular dates and venues of our BS2PCG tournament. And we also like to thank our other friends like Treats for Them, and you can visit our their website at www.treatsforthem.com. So Treats for Them is spelled as TREATS number 4 THEM.com. And also New Skin Philippines through Newlen, and Usana Philippines through Usana Store. Once again, we also like to thank our friends from the BS2PCG Collective, most especially to our buddies, Mr. Benjamin, Mr. Ben Brosin, Mr. Joe Vitelli, and this time, of course, Mr. Ralph Edwards. Okay, so guys, once again, okay, before Thanos bids you with a snap, this is Mark Iom, your host for BS2PCG Deck Forger. So once again, okay, like us, subscribe, and follow us on our YouTube channel, and also on our Facebook page and on our Facebook groups. And before we sign off, again, happy shuffling, and hope to see you once again in another edition of BS2PCG Deck Forger.